You there, what's up? This is going to be a book haul video. Decided to finally do one of these. I don't think I'm going to be doing this very often. I get all my books at a used bookstore. Uh, Maybe once in a while I get some off the internet, but for the most part, I get all this stuff that you see back here uh, from the used bookstores and just years and years of buying stuff. Um, so let's see what we got in January. I got some Dragonlance. This is Test of Twins, book 2 or 3. And I got book 2. This is a War of Twins. I've never read Dragonlance, but for $1 a book, I guess I wouldn't start just piling them up somewhere back here. What else did I get for $1? I got Dragons of Winter Night. This is all, well, this is Hickman and Wells, Weis, and these are Hickman and somebody else, I'm sure. Margaret, Weis, and Tracy Hickman. Yeah, all these three were done by the same author duo. Um, so this is book 2 of the Chronicles. This is, I think, a place where I should start. But that's all I have for Dragonlance. Um, I Everyone kind of speaks of Dragonlance from the people that I used to talk to. Um, that's the thing that they got them into fantasy. So I always kind of heard about it, never actually tried it. Um, I also know that Hickman did a D&D module, did a couple of D&D modules, and the one of the ones that I really wanted to try out one day uh, is the Desert of Desolation, Pharaoh, and all those things. So maybe one day I'll run that campaign or play in it, hopefully. What else did I get for $1? This is more Dragonlance, second generation. Same duo, yeah, more Dragonlance. This is still for $1. Yep. This is different. This is Shadowrun. It was another D&D kind of tabletop role-playing game, and I wanted to try it out a long time ago. Never really got to playing it, but the idea of fantasy cyberpunk was always pretty cool. And also the fact that you just don't, I think you just needed D6, just regular dice. That helped for trying to gather a group. It's always hard to find a group. But this is Secrets of Power, Volume 2. Find Your Own Truth by Robert N. Charette. Again, my name pronunciation may not be the best, so I'm sorry. But yeah, this is just a random book 2 or book 3 of Shadowrun series for $1. The problem with those books were the idea that there's so many of those kinds of books, and getting them all is going to be a real pain. So I always stepped away and tried not to collect those kinds of books. But for $1, it's kind of hard to say no, right? And eventually, you keep picking them up. The Star Wars books, the Star Trek books, those Dragonlance books, Shadowrun. Apparently, Shadowrun. I didn't even know they had a series of books. Magic books, right? Like, yeah, there's a lot of those kinds of books, and a used bookstore is a good place to pick them up. So, do a YouTube video channel. Stuff to read, and you're probably going to be able to tell that I have some eclectic reading, but some controversial reading too. This is Neil Gaiman's American Gods. Never read it. Um, Always wanted to read it before, stuff happened with Gaiman, and you know, bad people do bad things. Bad things are bad. I think I can separate the author from the artist. The author. I can separate the works from the author. The art from the artist, I think is the way it's said. Again, I'm just a regular guy, so I'm gonna fumble and mess up a lot of stuff, but it is what it is. And yeah, I always wanted to read it. They had the other one as well, the sequel to this. I think it's a sequel. I'm not really sure. The Eskenazi sons or Eskenazi twins or the whatever. And I didn't pick that up. I just wanted to give this one a shot. So yeah. Uh, Again, once people have their day in court, and I'm even sure I haven't kept up with the Gaiman stuff. So if he's guilty of all the things that they said, I mean, hey, I hope justice finds him. What else did I get? Ender's Game. Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. It's like a paperback, mass paperback edition of. It's another book I've always wanted to read. I like sci-fi, fantasy, anything really. So, yeah, give this a shot. Um, it's got all these kinds of awards, and I'm sure a lot of people know about this, but I'm not really even sure what it's about, and I like to go in blind a lot. Enough, the hype is enough for me to be interested, and then sometimes it's stuff like this. The Last of the Mohicans by James Fenimore Cooper. Yeah, Last of the Mohicans. Um, Now, this is a book that's not really picked up so much these days. It was a movie and stuff, and I think the movie's probably outshined this star. But I still want to give it a shot. I mean, if it's good enough for a movie, maybe it's good enough for a book. Probably the other way around. But yeah. Now this one right here was a lucky find. Janny Wurts, The Curse of the Mistwraith. Yeah, it's being talked about enough for me to have heard of this book. If it wasn't for all you people out there talking about this book, I would never have heard of it. So good job on you guys. I'm excited to read it. I know a little bit about what it's about, and I know that it's perhaps a little bit difficult. And we'll see. I don't mind difficult, but we'll see. Give that a shot. What else did I pick up? John Updike's Rabbit Run. This is another one of like I'll just hear about books and I'll pick them up. I don't even know what it's about, but I heard it's really good. Give it a shot. I saw when I picked it up that they had other John Updike books with rabbit in their name, so it's probably a series. But yeah, nah, just give one a shot and see if I like it or not. Uh, has a basketball on the cover, so it's probably a more uh, contemporary book these days for the kind of stuff that I read. And I also don't shy away from basically young adult teenager kind of books, maybe even children's. So this is book 4 of the Percy Jackson. Um, I don't know what the Olympian series, I guess, by Riordan. Rick Riordan. Yeah, book 4. But I also have book 2. Is this book 2? Where are you, book? Book 2. And book 1. So they had books 1, 2, and 4. All at what is that, $4? So not cheap. Not as cheap as I'd like, but I figured these will be a quick read. For me at least. It's probably take me like a month just to read each one. But yeah. Excited to get a read on these. they got Disney on the back, so I don't know if that means anything, but you know, um, that's what the kids are reading. That's maybe what the kids had read. This is probably old news by now, but yeah, I don't mind. One day, I haven't read Harry Potter. I haven't read uh, what's another thing that's popular with the kids? Uh, the Hunger Games. Mm-mm, too old for all that stuff. I remember when Harry Potter was just coming out, and I was like, nah, that's for children. That was the idea back then. And now I'm just like, man, it would have been nice to have read it, just to have an opinion on it. But I mean, back in those days, I couldn't even really read uh, even The Hobbit. It was so difficult for me to read. But sticking at it stuff. Even now, I still don't think I'm that great a reader, but it's a challenging hobby for me, and that's what makes it fun. The Arabian Nights. Yeah, I have an old, well, not that old, but a Barnes and Noble edition of the Arabian Nights. The book. This one's translated by Haddawy, and the translation that I have is the one that has Sinbad and uh, Aladdin and all that stuff stapled onto the back. It's the one that some French guy, I think, or some English guy translated it way back in the days, and that's what made it a hit in its time. But the problem with that is that it's a product of its time, so that it's got a bunch of censorship in it and stuff has been moved around, and those times were salacious. No, you can't. That stuff is super sensitive, and our decent population couldn't read such a thing without it being heavily censored. That kind of attitude. So I picked this one up, hoping that it was more to the actual story, and it's got maybe a little bit more exploration to the poetry, the more of an exploration of those books that were censored or abridged, because that stuff it gets my gander, man. I hate it when people censor stuff and people uh, localize things in any kind of way. Like, I understand translation is a thing, and it's difficult. Obviously, it's difficult trying to. Um, there's so many ways to go about it that it can really change the work in such a way that it's not even what it was originally. I mean, I read manga, and that stuff when it gets incredibly localized, jelly donuts, Pokemon Brock, anime stuff. No, come on, don't treat me like I'm stupid. But they treat you like they're stupid. So it's just something that you have to come to terms with. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just pick up the actual text in the original language. And it's so hard. It's so hard because I don't know Japanese, and I just have to bear and grin it, bear and grin it. Anyways, what do we got here? Ah, we got some Redwall. Redwall's another series of books that I always wanted to read. Maybe it's within that time frame. Redwall's by Brian Jacques. I always pronounce it Jacques, but apparently it's Jacques. English guy. Um, and yeah, Redwall. This one's Taggerung. Taggerung. Not sure exactly what uh, what part of Redwall that is, because Redwall goes on for so long. There's so much Redwall, and when you can get them pretty cheap, you know, a buck or two. This one's the Bellmaker. Then I'm willing to pick them up. Yeah, give these a read. Now, how much Redwall have I actually read? Over the course of my whole entire life, I've only read two, and those were within the last year or two, because I came back around to reading Redwall. This is the first book, actual Redwall, and I I tried reading these back in the days when I was younger in my high school days, and even then, this was too hard for me. Like, if you feel that reading books, reading literature, any kind of reading is really hard, and it's you just can't concentrate or whatever, stick with it, man. Just get in there. Don't be afraid of it. If you have to wrestle with it like I did for years, just do it. What's he gonna do? Win? No, man. You just get in there. And so I had to re-pick up this Redwall because my original Redwall that I have here. Now this is I didn't pick this up recently. This is an old copy that I had at the same place. You know, uh, a bigger sized book with bigger letters. The problem with this book, though, see if I can find, is that some of the pages, and this is the problem with used bookstores. Some of the pages are illegible. You can't read a dang thing on them. I don't know if it's because of sun damage. I don't know because of any old reason or two. But yeah, this is page uh, 89. Look at that. Not as you could barely read anything on it. And when I'm in there, I don't have a lot of time to be at the bookstore to really meticulously go through the books. Nah, I just pick them up. Oh, you Redwall. I don't have Redwall, dude. Let's pick up Redwall. It's only a couple bucks. And then I go home. I'm in the middle of the story reading this thing. And then I can't read what the heck's going on with this rat. So it's a crapshoot sometimes. And sometimes you gotta pick up another one. Now, could this one also be illegible? Could very well be. I've skimmed it over since I've come home, and I do that a little bit more frequently now because of that. But that's what happens sometimes. So besides Redwall, what else do I read? Yeah, this is The Glory and the Fury. No, I lied to you. This is The Power and the Glory by Graham Greene. Another book that I don't know anything about it really. It's just a book that I heard about before. I mean, it's a Penguins classic, so it's been around for a long time. I'm sure somebody's mentioned it somewhere, and got a ship on the cover. So that's the thing, You just give the kind of reader that I am. I don't mind giving things a shot, and by a shot I mean read the whole freaking thing. Read the whole freaking thing. Now, does that mean that if I'm bored, that I push through? No. Once I start getting bored, my attention starts to waver, then I put it down. Put it down and pick it up tomorrow. Give it a day. Whenever I find some free time, pick up the book. And I learned from reading a previous book that I'm going to reread again in February that I can't just do that. So I put down boring books, or at least books that I find that are troubling me, and I'll pick up something fun like Redwall, or pick up some manga like Dragon Ball, or even something like a reread of One Piece or something that I really like, and that will just give me enough fresh air, another just so much of a second wind. I can either pick it up again, pick up the book that I was struggling with, or I don't mind picking it up the next day. So that's just how it goes. This book haul's continuing. I still have a lot more to go. The Longships, some Viking stuff. This one is by Frans G. Bengtsson. Bengtsson. Sorry, man. I don't know how to pronounce that. So, yeah. I like Vikings. I like all kinds of romantic with a capital R kind of stories. Stories about people and cultures that aren't like mine. A time long forgotten by many, but the stories remain. Stories remain. And so I can't wait to get into this. Right? Like I like fairy tales. I like historical fiction, actual historical books. Just tell me what happened. And this looks like a really long book about Vikings. Maybe it's like whatever little we do have of their historical, some kind of historical accounts, some kind of witnesses of stuff, or not. Maybe it's complete fiction, but I'll read it. I don't know anything about it, but I know that it's about Vikings. This is Cormac McCarthy, All the Pretty Horses. I don't have any Cormac McCarthy at all. I know he's also another guy that's supposedly did bad things, and he's dead. So he'll never have his day in court. But I don't, I want to give this a shot. And yeah, one day I'll get Blood Meridian and his other more famous works. But yeah, can't wait to read it. Pretty horses. I was about to say there's not even a horse on the cover, but there is. What else do we got? Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achimbo. Chimbo? Achimbe. Sorry. Chinua Achimbe. And I could still be mispronouncing it, but Things Fall Apart. Now, the reason why I picked this one up, besides the fact that I've heard of it, is that I read Conrad. I think it's Joseph Conrad. And his book, what's it called? The Heart of Darkness. It's it's an okay book. I think I need to reread it to really get in there. But on my first reading of it, I thought it was good, but it may be a little clever, the way it was presented. But I don't know, maybe it's just the way that Conrad's writing is. It felt a little confusing, maybe a little jumbled for me with the narrative. With having to deal with the narrator. I already forgot that guy's name. Anyways, this apparently is a kind of retelling or a similar kind of tone, time and place and theme, but from an African point of view, which is great. Gimme, gimme, gimme. So I have high hopes for this. It's a 50th year anniversary edition, this edition. So it's been around for a while. Definitely a classic. And I know almost nothing besides that. Can't wait to get into it. What's this? This is John Irving's The World According to Garp. Now, I ain't gonna lie. It's got the name Garp in it. So that's what got me interested in it. One Piece fan. I saw this. It's even got like a Marine kind of outfit on the cover, like a Navy guy or something. It could just be just a shirt or something, but it's I wanted to read it just because of that, But it did help that I think I've also looked it up a little bit before, and just the fact that it's like considered a classic and people like it or people have something to say about it. It's a thing, right? Like if they got something to say about it, good or bad, then I'm more willing to give it a shot because at least there's an opinion, right? If someone reads a book and just says, "Well, I read it. I can't really tell you anything about it," then that's bad. I think that's terrible. So even if you do have a bad review, this is a little segue to bad reviews. If you do have a bad review, tell me why it was a bad review, because that'll still make me pick it up. Just to be curious of how bad could it be. I don't. I actually like to watch those Mystery Science, Theater 3000 videos of really bad movies. But why are they so bad? Why are they so funny, right? So, yeah. Uh, Not to say that The World According to Garp is going to be bad. It's just that I've at least heard of it, even though the why I remember it is something super, superficial, something totally shallow and juvenile. Of like, oh, That's a name I know. That's good enough. That's good enough for me to at least look into it, and people be like, yeah, this is a important work for this reason, or critics thought of it being this way. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot because I mean, why not? Why not give it a shot, especially from at a used bookstore price. I also got Myths from Mesopotamia. This has got Gilgamesh and other creation myths. Um, yeah, man, give me. I want to know all the lore, what people thought. This has ties to biblical stuff, I'm sure. Um, it's got epic poem style stuff and things written in verse from centuries ago, right? A millennia ago. You can use big words to describe big time ago. Yes. Heck yeah. And I know a little bit about it, but can I say that I've ever really read it? No. Watch videos and people talk about it. But yeah, that sounds pretty good. We're still going with this book haul, by the way. There's still a little bit more. What's this? This is Alfred Lord Tennyson. The works. So I'm not sure if this is everything. The Warwick's. I don't know if this is everything, but Tennyson. Tennyson. He wrote some pretty fine poetry, I think. I've heard the name. Can't say that I'm familiar with the works, but what really got me to want to read this was the fact that it's got a little bit. He's known for, among other things, he did. Um, where are you? All right, back. So I looked it up, and it's the Idols of the King, and that's some Arthurian stuff. Yeah. So I'm always on the lookout for some more Arthur stuff. I read the Arthur last year, and it's okay. It wasn't. It was a lot more plain. At least the translation that I got. Translation maybe. I mean, it's in English, um, but I'm sure the original. Wait, I think the original might be in French, or at least Old English. I'm not sure with those old books. Mallory, I think. Well, that translation of the book left me wanting for more, and so yeah, Idols of the King. I think that's how you pronounce it, anyways. It's also called Charge of the Light Brigade. That's a famous one. I think I've also heard of that poem before. So Tennyson, gonna give that a shot. I hate poetry, but I'm willing to give it a shot, man. The last picture show. Laurie McMurtry. Larry. It's got an A. Maybe Laurie McMurtry. Last picture show. Now, um, the author McMurtry, I've heard of his name because of Lonesome Dove, and this has nothing to do with Lonesome Dove except I think maybe the fact that it's the same author. But Lonesome Dove apparently was so good that I'm willing to give a book that he wrote a shot that I haven't even read Lonesome Dove. Maybe I'll like, maybe I won't. Maybe it has nothing to do with how good or bad Lonesome Dove will be whenever I can find that at the used store. But I'm always willing to give it a shot for a couple bucks. What else we got? I think this is Virginia Woolf. Yep, Virginia Woolf to the Lighthouse. Another one where her name precedes her, right? I heard she's good, so I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker, but maybe uh, I'll have an opinion. And yeah, I don't know what else to read from her, but To the Lighthouse, I think, is the one that people mostly talk about. The other one, I think, is A Room of My Own or something. But out of those two, this is the one I found. So this is going to be my first attempt at Virginia Woolf. See if I have an opinion or not. Now, the rest of these, there's a couple more. But this big chunk here is going to be some Hemingway. Now, this is The Old Man and the Sea, one of his more famous novels. But I mean, he wrote so many things that are famous. But I recently read last year. I think it was 2 years ago now. Actually, time goes fast. Uh, the Sun Also Rises, and I didn't know what to think about Hemingway. Obviously, everyone's kind of heard of Hemingway. His name is prolific in the literature scene. Uh, there's like a before and after Hemingway, I guess, right? And I read his The Sun Also Rises, and I was not. I didn't know what the heck was what I was waiting for, what I was expecting. But interesting bullfighting. You know, it's a thing I kind of remember. I'm so old that I can kind of remember it. There used to be bullfighting in all its gory glory on television, on television, American television, and yeah. So The Old Man in the Sea, uh, give that a shot. And they had a whole bunch of Hemingway. And I picked up the stuff that I remembered and the stuff that I, hope to read. This is A Farewell to Arms. This is, I think, one of the bigger stories that he'd written. And yeah, we got more. We got more Hemingway, man. They're all hardbacks, all for like a buck or two. This is a movable feast. It's a little bit, from what I remember, a actual time and place, kind of a memoir kind of book that he wrote. For Whom the Bell Tolls. This is another really big old book. Now, this one I'm not exactly sure what it has to do, what it's about, but I've heard the same. So it's probably about somebody dying, or something to do with life and death, some eternal human struggle. Could be about lunch. I don't know, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Anyway, that's it for anyway. Now, this is the kind of thing again, going back to books at the used bookstore. They had The Last Argument of Kings. Doesn't even have the in front of it. This is just Last Argument of Kings. And this is book 3 of Joe Abercrombie's The First Law trilogy. It's book 3. Could be a trilogy. Um, heard the name, heard the books. Don't know exactly what it's about. And I don't know if I'll ever find books 1 and 2. But yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot. I hear it's really good. And maybe one day I'll actually get around to reading it. And we're almost done. I got some E.M. Forster. There's 3 books. This has got Howard's End, A Room with a View, which is the reason why I got it, and Where Angels Fear to Tread. I heard about A Room with a View. Somebody on BookTube probably talked about it. And I'm willing to give it a shot. I've already forgotten what it's about, or what kind of writing Forster has for me. But yeah, I'm a pretty eclectic reader, I guess, with no real scruples when it comes to books at a used bookstore. And that's, not right for everybody. Definitely not right for some. But as my hobby, I don't mind spending a couple bucks. And this is the last book that I got there. Was Classic Fairy Tales by Charles Perrault. I'm guessing French. I'm not sure. And it's a facsimile edition with a lot of art in it and stuff. And yeah, man, I don't mind picking up books like this, that are oversized, maybe looks like a child's book. Um, Give me the fairy tales, give me the story. I'm not too proud to be uh, sneering down my nose at any of those books anymore these days. Um, yeah, that's the end of the book haul. So um, let me know if you have any opinions on any of the books that I showed off today. Hopefully, this new kind of format is something a little bit more interesting, something different, something different ain't so bad. But for sure, don't expect too many book hauls. I don't really. I'll go maybe once or twice a year again. Um, since December came by, I usually go around December, January, and yeah, maybe sometime in September, August. Maybe sooner though. Maybe sooner because I'm reading Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire, the series, and I don't have a Storm of Swords. I just finished uh, the Game of Thrones, so we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching. Later, later.